Good morning and welcome to Melody Joy Quilts. I am Melody Joy and I'm excited to be kicking off a brand new series for this channel that I am calling Free Pattern Fridays, where basically I find the best free patterns that are out there and make them with you. And the first one that we're gonna make this week is called Grocery Bag. Difficulty rating is beginner, and it's from the Robert Kaufman website. And if y'all have never been to the Robert Kaufman Fabrics website, I think they call themselves the home of the free pattern. There's so many free patterns on there. And so we're gonna make this grocery tote bag. Okay, so I had some fabric left over from when I made this Let's Get Fancy quilt kit a few weeks ago. And I wanna see if I can get the bottom piece out of this fabric. I love this fabric. And I have this much left over from making the quilt. And so do you see this piece here on the bottom that's darker? I'm gonna try to make it out of this darker fabric. Now, for that, I have enough because I have to have two 10 by 21 rectangles for the bag accent. Okay, so I need to cut this, I'm just barely gonna get 21 inches out of this. Okay, I'm cutting two pieces that are 10 by 21. Okay. I had just enough, just barely enough, okay? So these are gonna be, I have two here because it was folded in half. So I've got two pieces now that are going to be the base of my bag. So when you're looking at this picture, that is gonna be the base of my bag. Now I'm gonna see if I can get the straps cut out of this too. If not, I have some other fabric left over from that kit, but I've got the two base pieces. So pretty. Okay, let's look. For the handles, 4 inches times width of fabric times 2. Okay, I have at least, this is from selvage to selvage. So let me just see if I can get, if it's at least 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna have just enough. Okay, so let me cut this to 4 inches. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this at 4 inches. When you are sewing from your stash, it's really important to keep an open mind, look through everything that you have, and don't give up. And if you have to piece something to make a larger piece, that's okay. That ended up being exactly what I had to do because I didn't have another couple of pieces that were big enough for the main exterior, but I had a light colored floral and a very pale cream with a swirl, and I decided to piece those together so that I could make the main part of the bag. So pretty. Maybe I can piece it. Okay, so I'm having to piece my other lining just because I don't have quite enough of it. So I'm gonna add this in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these two pieces that are, I have two pieces here that are with the fabric. One of them is 10 inches and one of them is 4 inches. It needs to end up being 13 inches, so I'm gonna just piece these two together. So I'm gonna put these right sides together, and now if I had a big enough piece, I wouldn't have to be sewing this seam at all, but I'm trying to use fabrics from my stash. Like I said, I have all these beautiful fabrics that are really high quality and gorgeous, and I wanna use them. So I'm gonna just add a little piece here along the top to make it enough. As I'm sitting here working on this grocery bag, I'm already thinking about all these different ways I can customize this pattern. And obviously right now I'm adding 3 colors to the exterior instead of just the 2 that the pattern calls for, because I'm trying to make use of fabrics that I already have and own. And now I'm also thinking, maybe I could add a little pocket and it could have more of the leftover fabrics from the kit. So, you know, it's great to start with a pattern, and then it's always fun to customize it. I have wide enough piece, I can go ahead and trim this down now. Let's see here. I'm just gonna turn it this way. I wanna preserve as much of this floral fabric as I can. So like here, and then this is supposed to be measuring at 13 by 21. Okay, so I'm just gonna go, oh, see, look. Okay, I'm just trimming off. I gave myself a little bit of extra space before I did this. So I'm trimming off basically ½ an inch right now to make it exactly 13 inches. Okay, okay, all right. So this will be my main exterior. This will be my straps, and this will be my exterior accent. Okay, now my preferred method for making these type of straps. I'm gonna fold, I have 4 inches times width of fabric. I'm gonna fold it in half, and I am going to iron it. Okay, I'm gonna come all the way down along here and just doing this all the way along. So I know the pattern calls for fusible fleece, but I am on a mission this month to really clean out my fabric stash, reduce it, and use what I already own. So I have this heat and bond fusible interfacing, and it says Craft Extra Firm. And you know what? I have 4 packages of this. Don't know what I purchased it for, have no idea. I don't know why I own it, but I do. So you know what? We're gonna use this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of flatten this out a little bit so I can trim off. I wanna trim off a 1 inch piece here. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim one more 1 inch piece. This is gonna help give those straps a little bit more stability. Okay. So now I'm gonna take this ironing board. I have my pieces of interfacing here. What I'm gonna do is take one of these straps. How long is this compared to this? Okay, that's pretty good. It's not gonna be quite the same length, but that's okay. I'll just start kind of from the center. Okay, so let's see here. Let's open this one up. What I'm gonna do is lay it, there's like 2 sides. There's one side that looks very matte and one side that looks shiny. The shiny side is the glue side. So you wanna make sure that you put your glue side down, and I like where we ironed it in half. I'm gonna put the edge of this interfacing right up against the edge of that line that we ironed. And this is gonna be where I wanna go. So now I'm gonna take my hot iron and I'm just gonna press and hold for a few seconds. And then I'm gonna kind of move down and press and hold for a few seconds to help fuse this on there. Now it's really important that you put the glue side down so that you don't end up with glue all over your iron. This is just gonna help give these straps a little bit more heft. So, you know, if you're holding, it says a grocery bag, but whatever you're hauling in your tote bag, it will just help secure everything. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it over it. I'm gonna fold the fabric over that interfacing, and I'm gonna iron it down. I just love this fabric so much. Okay. I'm gonna turn this around. Now from this other side, you're gonna want to just fold it in almost, you're gonna fold it in almost to that center fold. You're gonna leave just a small little gap, and we're gonna press this down. So it should look like this. we're gonna fold this whole thing in half, and it should fit really nicely because we folded it and we ironed it in half earlier, and then we were working from that center fold. So this should end up looking really nice and neat. I'm just gonna iron it down this way. Okay, that is looking pretty nice. Now, I've got all these different layers going on in here. So what I'm gonna do next is run a stitch down either side of this to hold it all together. I'm gonna repeat that with the other side. So I've sewn all along one strip side. I'm gonna sew the other side now. Okay, so there we have a really nice strap. It's got some real heft to it because we put that extra firm interfacing inside of it. I used just ivory thread and did a small stitch down either side, and it's 4 layers thick. So this is gonna make a really nice strap for our grocery bag. I just need to repeat this process with my other 4-inch piece of fabric. Okay, so the next step is to add our straps onto our bag. So taking that panel that we made, that's gonna be the top of the bag, and taking a strap. I have it right here, kind of centered up. It says to measure in 5 inches, and that's where we are going to attach our straps. So I am just going to put this on here, and I'm gonna start pinning this in place, and I'm gonna pin it right kind of in the center. And then without making sure it's not twisted, I'm gonna bring it around to the other side and do the same thing, measuring in 5 inches from this side and putting it on there. And then I'm just gonna make sure this is adjusted as well, that I have it exactly 5 inches in from this side. Okay. Same thing, that's coming all the way there. Okay, now it tells you to only sew the straps on up until 3 inches from the height of the bag. I'm just gonna sew my straps on right up until I get to this part where I piece this strip on, because this piece is 1, 2, 3 1/4, so it'll be perfect. As long as I just sew right up to this point, I'll be good. So right now I'm just pinning these on. And again, just making sure that I am coming out at 5 inches up here as well, and that my strap is not twisted. Okay. Okay, so it should look just like this, okay? Now, I don't have my interfacing on this bag panel yet, so the bag panel seems pretty floppy, but that is only because we just have not interfaced it yet. Once we put the bottom of the bag on, then we're gonna interface all of it at one time. Okay, so coming over here, I'm gonna sew from here up to where I have this piece section here, across and back down. Now, right at the top of the strap, I'm adding a little X inside of a box, and that is just to provide some extra stability for when the bag is being used, that the strap is very, very secure. I'm just taking my time. I have my machine set so that when I stop, the needle will be down. That way I can lift the presser foot and easily pivot. So now you can see how it looks. This is attaching the strap on the other panel. I just sew down on one side. Again, I'm just using an ivory thread. And once I get up to that line, I'm stopping and I'm pivoting. Now, if you didn't piece it, you're just gonna draw yourself a line 3 inches from the top. I have a line already because I pieced this part of the fabric since my floral print wasn't quite big enough, but I'm excited to use these prints. I thought everything in this quilt kit was so beautiful, so gorgeous, and so I don't want it to just sit in my stash. I want it to be out and be used and seen. Again, I'm making that little box, and I'm just gonna make a little X in the box. Just sewing, just take your time with this. I said if you leave the needle down, it makes it easy to just lift the presser foot and pivot. And then once you get to that other corner, you can turn and do the other diagonal. And then just make sure you end with some back stitches so that it won't, your stitches won't come out, and it'll be nice and secure. Top panel, and we've attached our straps. We're now going to take that bottom panel and attach it here on the bottom. Again, we're doing this part before we add the interfacing to these panels. What we've done right now is just add the straps. So this is my piece that's for the bottom of the bag. So all I'm going to do is put it right sides together. And I am just going to stitch this on. Right sides together. Ooh, let me get the straps out of the way. And I will go ahead and work on sewing this on. Now actually I am gonna switch my feet. I was on my 1/4 inch foot, but actually I want to switch right now to a where's my standard presser foot? Well, there's my number 1. For this, I'm actually just gonna switch to my number 1 foot instead of my 1/4 inch foot, because it's better to have your seam allowance wider than a 1/4 inch on a bag. Okay. I'm gonna iron this and open this up. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, the next step is to add interfacing to the back of this. So I'm gonna open up one of these packages right here. Now, the pattern calls for fusible fleece. I just didn't have any, and I'm trying not to spend any unnecessary money. So I'm using what I have on hand. And is it gonna be the exact same as the pattern? No, but it is a fusible product, and it is to help create stiffness. Is your glue side. And so you want shiny side down when you're working with this. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have all of this on the fabric and none of it on my board. So we are fusing this on the back of our bag panel. So not on the front. We don't want it on the front. We want it on the back, and we want to make sure that our piece that we cut is going to fully be on the fabric with nothing touching our ironing board, so that we don't end up with any glue catastrophes. Because essentially what's on the back of this is glue. Okay, I'm going to start here, start pressing this on here. The main thing is you do have to apply some pressure. It's heat and pressure to get this interfacing on. So on the other side, I'm gonna take my piece that's for the bottom of the bag. And if you noticed, I kind of did what the pattern did. Lighter colors for the main part of the bag and darker colors for the handle and the bottom. And if you think about how a bag is used, the handle and the bottom are probably the part that's gonna get the most dirt on them potentially. So using a darker color fabric will just keep your bag looking nice longer. If you use really light fabrics, it's gonna show any little smudge, anything. So the highly touched parts of the bag, I would recommend using a darker color. We are already almost done with this bag. We're getting so close to being finished. Okay. I'm just gonna fold this down. Oh, I think this is so beautiful. I'm really getting excited about this. I was surprised how much fabric I had left over in my kit after making that Let's Get Fancy quilt. All of this is leftover fabric from that kit. My cat just knocked over a cup of water in the kitchen. You might be surprised what you can find in your stash. I thought I was gonna have to definitely go buy some interfacing, and then I found this and I was like, well, actually I think this would probably do the job. So, you know, shop your stash first, see what you have on hand, and you know, you might be surprised that you have what you need. And maybe you don't have what you need, you have to buy something, but maybe you do already have on hand what you need for a quick project. Okay, I'm just gonna iron this one on. Again, I just wanna make sure that I am fully contained and not hanging over anywhere so that I don't get glue on my cutting board or a mat or anything else. Once we have that done, the next step is to lay these two panels right side together. I'm just gonna verify that I'm doing this correctly. Yep. Sew the two exterior panels right sides together, sewing along both sides and the bottom edge. Okay, so this would probably be a good time for some clips. So all I'm gonna do right now is make sure that I have this and this together. And I wanna clip, I'm gonna do some clipping. Here we go. We're not gonna sew along the top. This is a really great free pattern. I hope y'all enjoyed sewing along with me today. I already went and ran errands with this bag and I thought it turned out adorable. I'm gonna put the link to the free pattern in the description of this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe for more. And happy quilting!